After the hurricane passed and the flooding began, the police, fire, Coast Guard, and paramedics were the first to respond. When the floodwaters receded, they were the second responders, owners of restaurants, bars, and clubs, who knew that they represented the heart and soul of New Orleans. It was their responsibility to return to business as soon as possible, providing meeting places, food, and most importantly, hope to the many devastated communities.
To me, the most fascinating thing about coming back to town, which I did in mid-October, was how much the restaurants were booming.
Since so many people lost their kitchens and the ability to cook their own food, this just made us very, very busy.
People just started jamming in every restaurant that could be open.
The bars were open before anything else. Before any grocery stores were open, before we got mail, even before we got electricity, they had some bars open.
Meeting one another, hanging with their friends, giving each other the Katrina hug after seeing each other for the first time.
We really use these restaurants as gathering places. There are places to go and really feel like we've reconnected with New Orleans, and I think that the restaurateurs knew that. They knew what an obligation they had to rebuild, get back in business.
Nobody minded waiting really 2 hours sometimes to get a table. There was such a shortage of restaurants and people to work in them. I think it really pulled the city together. Nothing else did that quite as effectively as the restaurants.
Hey there, don't go nowhere. The rebirth's on its way. I say, hey there, don't go nowhere. The rebirth's here to stay. Hallelujah. Hey there, don't go nowhere. The rebirth's on its way.
The Rockin' Bowl is Mid-City Bowling Lanes, and Mid-City Bowling Lanes has been at this site since 1941 on the corner of Trinity and Carrollton. The attention I get and the reason why the parties come is because of the great live music. Few other places in this world could have the caliber of Kermit Ruffins playing pretty regularly on a Saturday night. We had 7 feet of water downstairs, so the rest of the shopping center is gutted, completely empty. And the only thing that's happening right now in this whole area is the Rockin' Bowl. It's going to be quite a while, I think, before the other businesses can come up. I only escaped because I was on the second floor. I had a grocery underneath me, and so the stench was terrible. So I couldn't open up right away. I had to get on the landlord about, let's clean up the spot. I got to open. I started asking people when it might be possible for me to get electricity, and they said, John, I mean, it could be 6 months before we can get power into this area. And so I got an electrician, and there was no parts in the city. I was driving from Lafayette, Louisiana with electrical parts, and was fortunate enough to get some people, some electricians to work, and they did it. And on November 10th, we opened, and the neon light outside was the only light on for miles. There was no street lights, no traffic lights. There was not another business or residence with electricity. It had only a neon bowling pin, and over the course of the night, 700 people showed up. People were just ready to try to get something New Orleans back into their life. The early settlers of New Orleans, life was very perilous, and I think that's within the fabric of us. We've always lived on the edge. So when you partied well. It's been here since '41, and we're hoping to be here for a long time after this.
In New Orleans, a bar is much more than just a place to get a cold beer. Usually there's a small kitchen in the back that makes a great bowl of gumbo, and a corner with a microphone where neighborhood jazz musicians play. These corner bars were the foundation that kept the French Quarter strong. But after Katrina, they became necessary to the very survival of the city. They provided the culinary and musical memories that gave many the inspiration to rebuild.